Aretha.
This is Simone.
And this is Clean Ears.
Yes.
We're here with your friendly neighborhood snippet. Sneal. And we wanted to talk about something that happens a lot, especially in our age group, and it is church shopping.
It is necessary. I know that probably upon hearing those words,
Yeah.
there are probably some of you who are like, that doesn't really sound like something we should be doing.
Mm-hmm. Y'all are like, no, we shouldn't be looking around, or like, one church forever.
And to which I reply, says who?
Right.
Sometimes you reach a point in your church life where you're like, okay, I am not getting what I need here.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried different things, and now I'm in a place where I'm looking for a new church home because it's not a good fit. I feel like God is telling me to go. I've prayed about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm church shopping.
Right. It's actually a pretty difficult time to be in the middle of
Yes.
church transition. One, because you still have so much time and relationships and allegiances to your previous church,
Mm-hmm.
and you also are aware of that you need community. So you're kind of rushing to find a place. So you're like, I don't want to just be out here uncovered in these streets with the devil being busy as he is.
Life is too hard for that.
You know what I'm saying? So we get that, but I think what we want to talk about especially is like being realistic and really figuring out what you're looking for as you're church shopping. So we can help you get through that process quicker, and you're not just out here looking, going to different church every day.
I think the first thing is to look at is the easiest thing, the leadership.
Yeah.
What is the leadership like? If you go and you visit one Sunday and you sit down and you hear a pastor speak that you've confirmed is not a guest pastor.
Mm-hmm.
This is somebody on staff that you will be seeing in the rotation. How do you feel about not necessarily their views per se, but I mean,
yeah.
how does the message resonate with you? Because sometimes there's some pastors who sometimes push some agenda
Mm-hmm.
in there, and I think it just seeps into the way that you teach. I'm not saying it as a bad thing, but how does that resonate with you? Do you feel like, yes, the Holy Spirit is really causing me to agree with a lot of the things that I'm hearing, or is it just a situation where I'm like, I'm not really feeling this, or this is making me feel some kind of way, or this is triggering something that hurt me in the past? That's a great place to start.
Mm-hmm. That is so important. Even when you're talking about their delivery, you can look at a lot of churches are very transparent about like who's on their board, their visions, statements of faith, things that you can actually read and be like, what are they actually about? Like underneath it all, doesn't matter what they look like, doesn't mean if they got screens, doesn't matter what their worship looks like. What is it actually about? Like, what do they really believe? And does this align with what I know and understand of the word and what I believe? Those are foundational things that's going to definitely keep coming up, like she said. And also that's what they're going to be teaching you and asking you to do as part of their church. And if you don't feel comfortable about any of that, definitely try to find somebody that you can speak to about that if you want to go there. If not, you could keep going. It's a way to just cross it off the list and keep it moving.
Yes, the beautiful thing about technology is that we can also, check out the website, get the mission statement and all of that, but we can also check them out. Some people have podcast forms, some people have YouTube channels, and that way, if you're concerned about a gap and you're like, you know what, physically attending church and being faithful in that way is something that means a lot to me, and I still want to exit my church in excellence and not just be missing it or not having a plan, you can continue your regular church attendance, and then you can watch a sermon in the week. See how you feel about it. Try out a different church. Look at the website. Okay, feeling these views. Watch a sermon. Okay, I'm really feeling that. Okay, Lord, I'm going to go visit. Just be with me. Pray over the visit and go check it out.
I think another great thing that you should keep in mind is, have you figured out where God is kind of leading you in your gifts, and where have you found a place where you can serve in that capacity?
Yes.
A lot of churches have like one or two big high level things that they're kind of about, whether it's missions, whether it's a family, whether it's, outreach, an evangelical community, anything like that. And so if those things are already in line with something that you're gifted in, you're probably a little bit more likely to lean towards that being a place where you want to go, versus if you know that you are not hospitality driven, but this is like house church and they go from house to house, might not be for you. It's gonna be your turn at some point and you're gonna be like, completely uncomfortable, can't do it. Don't want people up in your house like that. If they constantly want to do things at people's houses and that's not for you, then you already know. And again, it's not bad, it's just not your gifting, and lets you know that that's not a place for you, and you can just cross it off your list and keep it pushing.
Another great thing about just the age of technology and being able to check out websites, you can check out their small group offerings. Yeah. Look and see if a community is important, whether it's important to you or not, it's important. And I think it's great to be able to look online and say, how many small groups do they have? If the church is not near me, are there small groups near me? Is there community by me? Or will I constantly have to travel across town for everything that I need to do?
Right.
And am I okay with that?
Yeah.
Some people are okay with that, and that's fine. I can go to the other side of town 2 or 3 times a week. And some people are like, schedule is tight, the way this Atlanta traffic is set up. But that way you can look and say, okay, you know what? I can add up the factors I need for myself. If they only have 2 small groups, one for men, one for women, and they're both on the complete opposite side of town, that may not be where God is leading me. Or I would ask God, are you trying to lead me to do something there? Like, tell me what it is, but I wouldn't necessarily put that at the top of my list to be like, let me run on down.
Right.
And because that's one thing when I was looking around, that was one thing that deterred me from one church, because I'm like, I like you guys, but I can't fully be a part of it. And I'm somebody, if you have not already, noticed from our shows and the different things we talk about, I'm somebody who likes to be fully engaged into stuff, right up in there, right in your face. And if I'm not able to do that, then I'm like, I don't know if that works for me. And so, yeah, you can check that information out and see if it's something that you can do.
Right. One thing that was important for me that I've been looking at as I've been looking at churches is looking at a place that has not like an open door policy, but lets you get an opportunity to talk to leadership. And even if you have something that's on your heart that they don't necessarily do now, are they open to doing something in that area, especially if it already kind of aligns with something that they already do or something that they are passionate about, and it's something that you're also passionate about. Do they have the resources? Can they put you in the right direction? Things like that. Because I think one thing that we want to always be mindful of is that there's personal purpose inside of the body. And so you want to be in a place that doesn't put you so far in like, yes, there's the body and there's the things that we're supposed to be doing there, but we also have things that I'm supposed to be doing personally. And how can my church lead me, help me go into that direction, and also kind of propel me forward when it comes to purpose? And so one of the ways they do that is to get you a part of mentorship or being able to talk to leadership and really feeling like you're part of the body when it comes to all levels and not separated in some type of way that seems weird and unnecessary.
And to bring it back to the community piece, another thing is, don't be afraid to search the demo of the church.
Hey!
Because listen,
you know what I'm saying?
That's demographic.
Yes.
You want to make sure, again, we know community is important. And if I go and everybody is 60 and up, no shade, that's just what's, it could be that's the neighborhood, and that's fine. But then I may not be able to be in a place like that. I attended a church where I visited for one of the programs that they had there. And so I attended that meeting. But when I went, I was just like, there's nobody in here who looks like me. I feel like I stick out like a sore thumb. Actually, I did stick out like a sore thumb because I think everybody in there spoke to me because that's how different I looked. And that, I won't say freaked me out, because guys, you know me, I'm content around people, but I'm also just like, this isn't the look. Can't do it. So don't be afraid to search the demographic. It's not because I'm like, how many boys in my age group, but it's about, important though. But search for like, hey, if I'm going to be engaged in community, are these people like me? In terms of, will we be interested in the same kinds of outreaches? Will we be looking to engage in the same way? Because somebody who's 65, you're not calling Doris for coffee on a Saturday, girl. or not on a Saturday evening, not past a certain time. You know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is. If you're looking to engage in community, you want to make sure that you can find people who can engage with you where you are without you having to put forth a ton of effort. And so I would say check out the demos, see what they look like. If everybody's married and they're like 12 single people, you're like, is this going to be weird? Let me at least walk in knowing. And then I can make a more educated decision.
You definitely want to make sure that the demographic is mixed.
Yes.
Of course, you want to have you're older, you're younger, you're married, you're single, all of that. Definitely find people who are like you. And then also don't be afraid of people who aren't like you.
Yes.
Bring it all together, shake it around, and see what happens.
Yes.
But like the whole point is find God in the situation and then also figure out where you're supposed to be in the situation. You can lean on one side very heavily and be like, not my will, but thy will be done, super heavily, which is, yes, do all of that. But he also put something in you that he wants you to do, and that happens in your in the body. And so you want to find a place in the body where you can do that, so you don't end up in another couple years feeling stifled and doing this again. But also you don't want to get so far and be like, I'm just trying to find homies, that you're not even thinking about the word. You can get into a place of where they give you the fluff and no realness just because there's a bunch of people there, and you can, have a crew of 20 deep of Christians. So you can find a place in the middle that is really where God wants you to be. And don't be afraid if it's not that sexy church that's got the poppin' Instagram.
All curated up and such.
Like, don't be afraid if you don't end up in the place that looks like everything. But if you're in a place and even if it's a basement, if God is there with you and 5 other people, then that's where he wants you to be.
So guys, if you are liking this video, what we want you to do is follow all the verbs, like it, subscribe, hit the bell, get those notifications when these videos drop so that they can just be right in your face immediately.
Right there.
Important stuff.
Also, in the comments, we want to talk to you about your church shopping experience, if you've ever had to do it, or if you're on the verge and if you're feeling a little something. Because like we said, we definitely know it. It feels a type of way. Like you're a little bit scared about jumping from the nest of where even if it's not where you're supposed to be anymore, just someplace different. So we'd love to be able to converse with you in the comments about that. And until next time,
have a good time.
Bye.
Bye.